Now at 11, the St. Helens School District responds after a report details just how badly they handled multiple sex abuse cases. And frustration in Salem after a special session to discuss transportation funding gets delayed.
The impacts to Oregon statewide would be unreal, really unreal.
Plus, possible legal setbacks for two major priorities of the Trump administration.
If President Trump thinks these tariffs are so important, he has a way to get them through.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. Our top story tonight, the St. Helens School District responding to a report saying they failed in handling alleged sexual misconduct at St. Helens High School. Jake Holter looks into the district's plan to prevent something like this from ever happening again.
A third-party investigative report just released found that the St. Helens School District repeatedly failed to act in instances of alleged sexual misconduct involving two educators. For example, when the report says that when choir teacher Eric Stearns allegedly hit girls on the backside during cheer practice, made numerous sexual references during rehearsals, and put his hand inside of a student's mouth, the administration either delayed investigating or didn't act at all. The report says there was also no evidence that the district conducted a thorough background check, including looking into why Stearns had been placed on leave and later resigned while working at his last school district. In light of this report, the district says they are committed to doing better. In a release, the district says they implemented a corrective action plan in the spring, quote, created to serve as our commitment to rebuilding trust. Most of the release lays out the district's plans going forward. These are some of their steps: updating their hiring practices to include comprehensive background and reference checks, ensuring annual mandatory reporting training for all employees while reinforcing the professional staff student boundaries policy, providing all students with sexual abuse prevention education, and making sure Safe Oregon posters are posted throughout the schools, and an increased superintendent presence at schools with more feedback from students. The district has new leadership going into the new school year, and the release closes by saying, quote, our goal is to ensure that our actions, policies, and culture reflect the safe and supportive environment every student and staff member deserves so that our schools become places of healing and growth for all. Stearns' trial is scheduled to begin in September of next year, and he's pleaded not guilty to all 29 sexual abuse charges. In St. Helens, Jake Holter, KGW News.
And we want to make sure you know there is help available 24 hours a day. The National Sexual Assault Hotline is right there on your screen. It's 800-656-HOPE. Well, taking a live look outside right now, we saw cloudy skies and cooler temperatures to start the Labor Day weekend. Corey Johnson is here to let us know what we're going to be seeing the rest of the weekend. Hi, Corey.
Hey, John. Yeah, it was a comfortable day outside, and that's turned into a comfortable evening. Temperatures right now looking really good for us across much of our area, and of course very dry throughout the next couple of days. But we could have some rain into next week. I'll break that down coming up. But taking a look at temperatures right now, 75 in the Dalles, 70 in Portland, and 60s near the coast for us. A look from our Wells Fargo camera, a beautiful Saturday night on tap, 70 degrees for us. And in the Dalles, looks like some dazzling lights as well, 75 degrees there, and just a little bit of a light wind. Over in Central Oregon, we did have highs today around the 90s, 94 degrees, Pendleton 93, and Bend about 92. Mostly sunny, so the morning started out a little bit cloudy and then broke up into that afternoon sun. That was the case for us across much of our areas. A high of 83 in Vancouver is what we saw as well in Southwest Washington. Now, if you like the weather today, the good news is you can have more of it for tomorrow, because we are going to get just a little bit warmer, but again, that same trend of cloudy to start the early morning, but by late afternoon, hitting around 84 degrees. I'll break it all down coming up.
All right, Corey, thank you. We'll see you soon. The Immigrant fire burning southeast of Eugene continues to grow uncontained. As of today, it's burned nearly 20,000 acres. That's partially due to two spot fires that merged into the larger one. While the fire is in a remote area, a note to travelers, it has forced several closures in the Willamette National Forests. That includes roads, campsites, hiking trails, and hunting areas. For more information, head to the Forest Service website. Portland police are asking for the community's help finding a missing woman. They say 63-year-old Doris Strunk was last seen leaving a care home on the evening of Thursday, August 21st. Detectives say she has multiple illnesses and has been off her medication. She's known to frequent Northeast Halsey Street between 122nd and 114th Avenue. If you've seen her, call 911 right away. Oregon lawmakers will now meet Sunday afternoon to get a special session underway over transportation funding. It's after they barely made quorum on Friday. The governor has made it clear getting transportation funding passed is a huge priority. Now, the Senate met Friday morning and adjourned in the afternoon, but the House did not come to order until after 8 p.m. on Friday. So far, we haven't heard why it took so long for enough Democrats to get to the Capitol. Transportation workers and the union that represents them viewed these delays with disappointment.
Well, we had workers show up this morning at 7 a.m. expecting to see the Senate go into session at 9 a.m. and expecting to see the House go in at 11 a.m. It was 11 a.m., then it was 1 p.m., then it was 3 p.m., then it was 3:30 p.m., and it's just been watching people not show up to do their jobs.
Supporters of the transportation bill want to see it passed as soon as possible to avert layoffs and large-scale service cuts to ODOT and local transportation and public transit agencies. Opponents don't want to see new fees or taxes for Oregonians. New tonight in D.C., President Trump is facing legal setback to two of his top priorities, tariffs and deportations. At least one of those cases could end up in the Supreme Court. NBC's Vaughn Hilliard reports from the White House.
Tonight, the president seen briefly on camera for the first time in days, heading to his golf club in Virginia. His schedule quiet as federal courts this weekend intervened to limit Mr. Trump's presidential powers on two major fronts, ruling many of his tariffs illegal and an overnight ruling that blocked his administration from fast-tracking deportations of undocumented individuals. A federal judge struck down Trump's executive order expediting deportations without giving migrants the opportunity for an asylum hearing. The government had previously only used this power to quickly deport individuals detained near the southern border. The judge writing, the policy would inevitably lead the government to erroneously remove people. The Department of Homeland Security saying President Trump has facts and common sense on our side. This pushback to the president's executive authority just hours after federal appeals court judges told Trump that he could not unilaterally implement most of his massive tariffs on imports from countries around the world. The court writing, the power to impose tariffs is vested exclusively in the legislative branch by the Constitution. Neil Cutial is an attorney for the plaintiffs.
If President Trump thinks these tariffs are so important, he has a way to get them through, which is go to Congress and get them approved.
The court will allow the tariffs to remain in place until at least October, leaving the White House a chance to appeal. Trump posting online that the decision should be reversed with, quote, the help of the United States Supreme Court.
Today, protesters from Indivisible Justice for All lined the sidewalk outside Clackamas Town Center Mall, speaking out for workers over billionaires. Rally organizers say they're speaking against recent federal cuts to essential programs and what they consider attacks on immigrants and working families. A spokesperson for the group say they want to keep growing these rallies until the government can't ignore them.
Just like in the 60s when I was growing up, it's the protests that change things.
It feels to me like the powers that be in America right now have lost compassion. They cannot, it's gone. They can't find it, and we need that compassion back.
More and more we're seeing people from different groups, not just Democrats, but lots of independents, and we're beginning to see Republicans here as well.
The Trump administration says it's helping families by streamlining federal programs and cracking down on illegal immigrants with criminal records. More rallies and marches are planned for Monday morning. New here at 11, one of Portland's newer food destinations just wrapped up a celebration. This evening, Flock Food Hall on the ground floor of the Ritz-Carlton held its first ever block party. They had free wine and spirit tastings, live music, vendors, and of course, multiple food options.
I like it. I like having a little variety.
Yeah,
there's a little bit for everybody. You're never bored. Look at all these people walking around.
Super fun.
Yeah, they should definitely do this again next year. They should promote it more, get more people to jump out, It's a good experience.
Flock opened up in February after the hotel displaced the former food cart pod there. It's open every day from 10 to 7 with extended hours on Fridays and Saturdays.